Good morning, everyone. And it's been a busy week or last week at Bangkok BACC, Bangkok Art Cultural Center, where the group and people at Bangkok BKK Unzine and Unzine 95 they did a comic books art festival. And so we have a couple to feature artists from abroad. One is Rimui, and the other is Eldo. Rimui is from Taiwan, and Eldo is from Japan. And so we'll take a look at some of their comics. And so the Comics Art Festival is an event to showcase comic books as an art form. It's not quite the same as Comic-Con. Comic-Con is much bigger. And this one is a little bit more focused down on storytelling. So we just go through the 3 books that I got from the festival, and later I hope I'll have time to sort of make a review of each of the books individually. But we'll get into the artist and a little bit of their background first and keep the video in a timely fashion. So if you like this kind of video, be sure to like and subscribe, the usual stuff. So first off is at the event, Eldo had his sort of slipcase book of his story, Ryuko, and sort of inside has exclusive art cards. And so these are the 3 art cards that you will get. This very beautiful artwork and very nice thickness to it, nice strength. So at the signing, I got sort of 2 drawings because there was a little bit of a misunderstanding. So he drew the second one for me, and a very nice person, very passionate guy at the event. Love art, love movies. And when we get into sort of a little bit of the story, when you look at the character and his interviews, he sort of says that the character is a little bit based on Kill Bill, and I could sort of see where he's going from that inspiration. Something very cool about the author Eldo is that he didn't start off as a mangaka, comic book artist, writer. He started back when he was at 45 actually, and his first comic was actually hand drawn. Though a lot of comic books and mangas are hand drawn, it's still pretty cool to note to sort of point out that this one in particular is hand drawn. So here we are. I believe there should be at least 2 more volumes left in the story, and he is still currently writing them at this moment in time. Another funny story about the event is that we had a small misprint. So here, obviously with the slipcase, inside you get volume 1 and volume 2. I didn't get a picture of it, but there was a version of having volume 2 and volume 2. So in the slipcase and plastic packaging, inside will be number 2 and number 2. And sending it back would be too costly, and so it's all over. I'll see if I can get it and put it into the video for you guys to see. So the good thing about sort of traditionally drawing the comic book, and it's all about preference, but there's certainly a nice texture style to it that you can just easily get compared to digital. Of course, digital can replicate it well, and it's just a matter of advantages and disadvantages. There are a lot of good advantages when it comes to drawing your comics in digital format, and there's maybe other advantages to try to draw it traditionally still on paper, but whatever it takes to finish the story as a whole. So it's a very action-packed comic, and I'll take some time to sort of read through it to take in the story and then make a review. But so far his art style is very high contrast, which is very cool, and just sort of deep blacks in the design and then sort of just bright highlights in other places and a few small grays in between. So a little bit more on Eldo. Before he became a mangaka, he was a different kind of artist. He was sort of like a modeler, sculptorist, working to create various sculptures around the city and for communities. So he was already basically a type of artist before becoming a mangaka, comic book artist. So we shall move on to the next art book. So the next art book that we are going to look at is The Funeral Concert by Rimui. So Rimui is a comic book artist from Taiwan. So in this comic book, it comes with 2 small bookmarks and a small sort of postcard, and her art is just very beautiful. And though in the workshop she sort of claims that she's not that great in coloring, but I think this is sort of very nice on its own, unless the coloring is done by someone else. And if you notice, this is a Thai version translated of the comic. There wasn't any English version available at the event, but it's good to just sort of get a little bit of Thai reading done, at least for myself. So basically about the author, Rimui, is sort of written that she likes sort of more professional stories when she was young, and for a while she tried to be a voice actress for animation, but that didn't really go according to plan for her. So instead she was determined to become a comic book artist, and so she says around 10 years later she was able to make her dreams come true. So her story is just from the images, I won't get into details too much, is that it has this slice of life kind of feeling to it. It's about a daily life of this person right here. And so from the name Funeral Concert, the individual name is Lin Shu. So I think she sort of ran away from home, and to sort of make ends meet, she sort of applied to a funeral home. But to work in a funeral home is very difficult, especially for someone like her. But that sort of gave her an opportunity to sort of face sort of problems and overcome challenges, basically. So I'll just leave it at that for now and save the details of the story for later. The last book that we will be looking at is more of a collage anthology, not a collage. So it's the Southeast Asia Community 2024, edited by Paulo Alessandro Heras and then Cheng Ju Lim. Hopefully I pronounced their names correctly. So this is a anthology of various comics by Southeast Asian comic book writers and artists, and so it's from various places like Thailand, and then we have Vietnam, Myanmar, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines. So here we have for Thailand for 2 places. So this is sort of some of the artwork, and I'll just skip ahead a little bit to be able to show the art style of everybody. And so it seems like they try to do this each year. And it's a nice way to be able to feature various comic book artists' short stories all in one book. And there's just going to be a story for everyone and the art style that may appeal to someone. And it's nice to be able to see all the different art styles all in one book, and just how each artist sort of frames or draws their story. What's also cool is to see the artists who choose to do all monochrome black and white, and here we have this pencil art style as well, so it's not all just ink. And then from various cartoony styles to the more realistic styles. So this will be another book that would take a while for me to review. With that said, I'll leave the video for now, and be sure to like and subscribe. And if you see this video and you read one of the books already, feel free to let your feelings be heard in the comments down below if you like one of the stories. And I'll see you all next time.